There was a time when life in the city felt like an endless race, a race that never stopped. The streets were always crowded, the noise never seemed to fade, and the air felt heavy with the weight of constant activity. Each day blended into the next, and despite all the hustle and bustle, something was missing: a sense of peace, of belonging, of being truly alive. It felt as though the city, with all its promises of success and opportunity, had somehow trapped me in a never-ending cycle of stress and exhaustion. Then, one day, I decided to leave it all behind. I packed up my things and drove away from the concrete jungle towards something simpler, quieter. I didn't know exactly what I was searching for, but deep down, I knew it was time for a change. I found myself in a small, humble house tucked away on the edge of a quiet village. The house was unassuming, with weathered wooden walls and a small, inviting front porch. At first glance, it seemed like just another house, but to me, it was a sanctuary, surrounded by nature. It stood as a promise of a slower, more meaningful life. The house, though small, was perfect in its simplicity. Each room was cozy and filled with light, the kind of light that filtered through the windows and wrapped you in warmth. The walls were painted in soft, calming colors that reflected the peace I longed for. The furniture was simple but welcoming, handcrafted pieces that seemed to tell their own story of time and care. It wasn't a grand house, but it was mine, and in that quiet space, I began to find my way back to myself. The real magic, however, was outside. The small garden surrounding the house was an oasis of tranquility. Vibrant flowers bloomed in every corner, their colors bright and full of life. Yet they seemed to whisper of quiet moments and slow breaths. I spent hours each day tending to the plants, watching them grow, nurturing them as they nurtured me. The smell of fresh earth, the sight of the sun rising over the garden each morning, and the soft hum of bees and birds created a symphony of peace that washed away the tension of city life. I began to learn the rhythm of nature, the way the seasons change, how the trees grow and shed their leaves, how the river nearby flows endlessly, unaffected by the chaos of the world. There was something so grounding about it all. I no longer felt the need to rush or chase after things. In this small, peaceful home, I discovered the true meaning of balance. The garden became a reflection of my own journey. As the flowers bloomed and the trees grew tall, I too began to heal, to grow, and to breathe again. The weight of the world didn't feel so heavy anymore. The noise of the city no longer echoed in my mind, and the pressures of life seemed distant and irrelevant. Here, in this small house surrounded by beauty, I found peace. I found joy in the quiet moments, sipping tea on the porch as the sun set, watching the stars twinkle in the night sky, listening to the sound of wind through the trees. This little house, with its small rooms and cozy corners, taught me more than the city ever could. It taught me that happiness isn't found in the rush of life, but in the stillness. It taught me that life doesn't need to be loud or fast to be meaningful. Sometimes, the greatest joy comes from simply being present, from living in harmony with the world around you. In the end, it wasn't just the house that transformed me, it was the life that came with it. The slow mornings, the quiet evenings, the deep connection to the earth and to myself. I learned that sometimes you have to step away from everything to truly find what matters. And in this small, humble house, surrounded by a garden that seemed to breathe with life, I found everything I had been searching for. It's easy to get lost in the noise of the world, to believe that success and happiness lie in the chaos of the city. But this house, this peaceful retreat, reminded me that the greatest treasures are found in simplicity, in quiet spaces, in nature, and in the moments that allow us to reconnect with ourselves. Sometimes, the greatest journey is the one that leads us back home.